Boxing Reimagined.
Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying to selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Turn up the sun up from under the sun. We maxing our limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving a mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation. I'm finessing a visit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my last look for UFC Vegas 109. We have got Anthony Hernandez going against Roman Dolidze. And yeah, looking forward to this card. I think we're going to get some violence. I think we're going to get some on-site pipings. Lots of massive favorites. But yeah, I think it's a fun card. We got an early start time as well, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, I can't wait to break it all down. Before we get into it, if you guys could please do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Getting really close to 29K subs. I think we're like 50 away. So if you guys could hit the sub button, would much appreciate that. And yeah, looking forward to these fights. We got a solid card this week. Next week, I'll be in Chicago for UFC 319. We got Dana White's Contender Series Tuesdays. So I've been pretty busy today taping DWCS and UFC 319. But yeah, looking forward to this card. What is up, everybody in the chat? Good to see you guys in here on a Saturday. We got Production Darts TV saying, might want to take a last look at your pick. And Hernandez, you're only going to be kicking yourself in the recap. You heard it here first, Brady. Much love. No, I think Dolidze is live, but I just think he's live for about a round and a half. 2 rounds is the thing. Appreciate your production. Best of luck to you. We got Majin MMA saying, in your head, what is up? Stat Diggers last Sunday was awesome. It was a fun show. It's always a fun show with Uncle Weezy. We got Forrest in the building. What is up, Forrest? Brady, your voice saved me. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. And then he says he's 50-50 on the main event, skill versus cardio. Yep, cardio is a huge factor in the fight. Definitely. Like if it gets past the second round, I think Dolidze is in big trouble. We got Mark in the building. Brady, can you just start now? I started on time, at least. I started on time. And he's saying, hear me out. First 4 fights, dog parlay, then add Cerqueira and Anders for generational wealth. So the first 4 dogs would be Eric McConico, Julia Stolarenko, Gilbert Urbina, and Priscilla Cachoeira. I don't know, man. I don't like any of them. But, yeah, a lot of big favorites this week. A lot of very untrustworthy. Like, Edwards at minus 380 is pretty wild. Same thing with Medic. Fernandez, yeah. Brundage minus 220 is kind of crazy, but I think the first favorites probably get it done, but we'll see. Hernandez looked like death stare on the scales, or looked like death on the scale with that Vietnam 1,000-yard stare. Yeah, he didn't look great. There were 3 fighters that missed weight by like a quarter pound, but everybody ended up making weight on the second attempt. Christian Rodriguez to shave the ass of Touchy Fili. I think there's going to be a lot of ass shavings. I think there's going to be a lot of ass hair on the ground after tonight. We got Jace in the building. What is up? Happy fight day to you as well. Martin, not a big fan of the song. It's not a bad song. It's better than the StreamYard gives you the default just elevator music. So, I went out and put that together, but sorry that you don't love it, Martin. Brett Hoffman, let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it early. Yeah, pretty early today, which is nice to see. We got Nick saying, let's go. Fat dabs and UFC fights. Yes, sir. Dog's going to win in the first fight. Eric McConico, the guy with no chin, going against Cody Brundage, the most untrustworthy fighter in UFC history. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. We got Tom. What's up, Brady? Let's go. Let's get it. Any singing teacher today, Brady? Probably not. No singing today, but maybe next week. Happy fight day. Let's circle the wagons. Let's circle them. Let's get it. We got Buster Cherry. What's up, Brady? Good luck today. Let's get some money in the pockets for Chicago. That's the plan. That's the plan. It's zombie in your head day. Let's go, degenerates. Let's go. Priscilla Cachoeira fight day. I'm looking forward to it. How come you don't do a watch party? This car is important on my future betting and this shit. I don't know about today. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to be taping Contender Series and UFC 319 like during the fights. So I got to get ahead for next week because I'll be in Chicago. I won't be able to get anything done later next week. Full Moon Blasting. Let's get it this time. Let's get it. All right. Yeah, Eric in here as well. All right, let's get into it. Let's take one last look into these fights. Let's see where these lines have moved throughout the day. The fight day line movement has been crazy. Not noticing anything too wild this week, but this is probably the most wild line move. It's Cody Brundage, Eric McConico. So Cody Brundage opened up at plus 170, and I saw he was the dog, and I was out of the house, and I was planning on betting Cody Brundage whenever I got back home. And when I did get back home, he was like minus 135. And at that point, it's like, I don't really want to lay chalk on Cody Brundage, but yeah, kind of was surprised that he was an underdog to Eric McConico, but now he's a minus 225 favorite. So money has poured in on Cody Brundage throughout the last 24 hours, currently minus 225. And yeah, it's pretty disgusting. The way I played it, though, I didn't want to put a ton onto this fight. And I think the most likely scenario for Brundage winning this fight and covering this price tag is a first round knockout. He has 5 wins in the UFC, 4 of which come by first round knockout. All 5 come in the very first round. And if he does not finish the fight in the first round, it's probably going to get very greasy. It's probably going to get very hairy. And it probably ends up being a greasy fight, second, third, potentially goes to a decision. So I think Brundage early KO is how I'm attacking this one. I think that's my favorite spot here. Just, put a little bit, not to get too invested, because I'm not laying minus 225 on Cody Brundage, but I think his most likely prop is that first round knockout prop there. But yeah, if it gets out of the first, it could get, like, anytime Brundage gotten out of the first, it hasn't looked great. The SD Dumas fight looked really bad second and third round. He looked really bad against Vieira in the second round, got submitted there. The Maximov fight didn't look too great round 2, round 3. Like, anytime he gets out of the first round, it just hasn't looked great for Cody Brundage, and that probably happens here. So yeah, it is probably a dog or pass at this line, but I also am not a big fan of McConico in his chin. He's been hurt a million times. He's been knocked out in all 3 of his losses. So yeah, I got to go Brundage here, but would I be shocked if he dropped the ball? No, I wouldn't be. You can't be shocked if Brundage dropped the ball. But this is actually the first time I'm picking Cody Brundage to win a fight. I always pick against this guy, but can't go with McConico here. What are you guys liking in this one here? We got Bunny Man with the queefs. There you go. Love to see it. Love to see it. Miles Johns is taking steam today. Makes me love Matsumoto even more. Matsumoto inside the distance sub. I won't say it, but I think it is. Yeah, I did see that. Money was coming in on Miles Johns yesterday, and Matsumoto got all the way up to like minus 230. I was like, what's going on? But yeah, minus 255 now for Matsumoto. Minus 230 on Bovada. Minus 225 there. So money is coming in on Miles Johns. Stolarenko by armbar, Dolidze by decision, Kazama by sub, Miles Johns by split, Angela Hill by split, McConico by knockout. Yeah, I mean, we could potentially see like a late McConico knock. I don't think the dude has a ton of power, but if Brundage is like slowing down and gas late in the fight, we might see like a KO. But I don't think McConico has more power than like Abdulrazak Al-Hassan and Mansour Abdul-Malik and even Julian. I mean, Brundage has fought a ton of big hard hitters, and McConico's not really that guy. Brady, why don't you wear wigs anymore? It's a great substitute for when you're saving your voice and not singing. I have a couple wigs. I have a Sean O'Malley wig. What other wigs do I have here? I got a black wig. Oh, Diego Lopez wig. I've got a Patty Pimblett wig. So I got three wigs, but just haven't had the opportunity to wear them. O'Malley hasn't fought since the Marab fight, Patty fight. Yeah, I'll wear it in the future. Don't forget to slap that like button, milk the bell, and penetrate that subscribe. I couldn't have said it better myself. Appreciate you. Cody by DQ, and I think that's very much on the table. You got to watch the back of the headshots when you're fighting Cody Brundage. So yeah, kind of a disgusting fight to kick off the card, but I think Cody has an opportunity to knock out the chinny McConico early. If he doesn't, it's going to get bad quickly, I think, for him. So maybe a live bet on McConico could be interesting, but yeah, this fight's kind of gross. So there's no actual DQ prop as far as I'm concerned, but what books will do, you can just bet the KO prop and it covers the KO, TKO, or DQ. You got to make sure it says KO, TKO, DQ. So you're not betting the DQ prop. It's kind of in mixed with the KO prop there. No, I threw away the Liang Na wig. Threw it away after her last loss against, was it JJ Aldrich? No. Her last loss, I threw it away. Petrovic, I think. I threw it away because there's no point in having it anymore. I mean, she's not she's not in the UFC. They cut her for some reason. I don't get it. Cody by no contest. I think that's something weird. If something weird's gonna happen on this card, it's in this fight. We could see a draw. We could see a no contest. We could see a DQ. Something weird always happens in Brundage fights. I don't know what it is. Crazy how everyone used to hate Brundage. Oh, trust me, people still hate. A lot of people still really hate this guy. And now he's a bit of a fan favorite. I don't know. I've seen a lot of hate for Brundage this week. But, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, people used to hate him a lot more. I think it was that Malkoon DQ. And the Alassane fight kind of rubbed people the wrong way. But, yeah, I made a ton of money on the Malkoon fight, cashing his round 1 prop at like 20-1. But he did hurt me on the Abdulrazak Alassane under there. So, all right, let's move on to the next fight. We got Gabriela Fernandez going against Julia Stolarenko. Yeah, you see, people still really hate Cody. People really hate this. Probably one of the most hated guys in the UFC, to be honest. I don't hate him. I don't hate Cody. I think he's a nice guy, but people really do hate Cody Brundage. But yeah, we got Fernandez versus Julia Stolarenko. And yeah, I think it's one of those fights where it's like there's two pretty obvious outcomes. Either Stolarenko gets that first round armbar, or Gabriela Fernandez beats the brakes off of her and brutally finishes her. I mean, if you're getting TKO'd in the first round by Chelsea Chandler, I mean, Stolarenko made Chelsea Chandler look like Khamzat Chimaev out there. It was ridiculous. Luana Carolina was able to stop her with strikes on the ground. If Stolarenko's not getting that first round armbar, she's screwed. Not just in this fight, but really in any fight. That's the only way she wins this fight. So if you are on the Stolarenko side, you gotta love that Stolarenko by first round submission at plus 1,000 or greater on most books. But if she's not getting that path, I think she's going to get hit in the face very hard. I think she could get subbed herself. She's been subbed before. I think she can get TKO'd. And I think she's going to get beat up very badly if she's not able to get that first round armbar, more specific, like in the first couple minutes of the fight. So I think Fernandez being a big favorite makes sense because when you only have one path to victory and it's like it's an armbar. I mean, Fernandez should know like what not to do. Like don't go down on the ground. Don't play in the guard of Stolarenko in the first couple minutes and you'll be fine. And if she does that, I think she pays off this price tag and finishes Stolarenko at some point. So I like Fernandez inside the distance. But if you're taking a shot on Stolarenko sub 1, I think it's a good sprinkle this week. Do I think it hits? Maybe. If she's going to try for it, she's got to try for it. That's like her only path. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty hilarious fight. I'm shocked that Stolarenko actually has 2 wins in the UFC. I can't believe it. She beat Jessica Rose Clark and Molly McCann. 2 okay wins, I guess. But if she beats Fernandez, that'd be a great win for her. But yeah, I got to go Fernandez here. It's hard to pick somebody that just has such a small path with that armbar in round 1. Armbar or bust? Yeah, we don't see it too often. We don't see that too often at all. Like not only an armbar, but like a first round armbar. That's the only way she wins. It's ridiculous. It will bust. I hope so. I hope it busts. There might be some sketchy moments here or there for Fernandez, but I mean, she's a good grappler in her own right. Like she shouldn't be getting armbarred by Julia Stolarenko. Some of the criticism he gets, this guy's just looking to get disqualified at this point. There's been a lot of bad looks with Brundage. A lot of bad looks. Stolarenko looked terrible on the scales yesterday, and Fernandez looked ready to go, just saying, yeah, I agree with that, Forrest. One thing that did surprise me, though, is when they faced off, Stolarenko did look a decent amount bigger than Fernandez, so maybe that could play a factor early. But yeah, Stolarenko, her cardio's non-existent. Her striking's non-existent. I don't think she has the best wrestling. I don't think she has the best striking defense, but she's good at that armbar. Brady, I got some tempura battered shrimp for tonight's fight card. There you go. And some sweet Thai chili sauce. It's going to be a great night. There you go. Sounds like a great night, Dixon. Absolutely. And enjoy the shrimp, man. Shrimp's great. I love me some seafood. She looked like crap on the scales again. Yeah, at least she didn't like faint this time. Remember a couple fights ago, she like fainted on the scale. Fight got canceled. At least she was able to keep herself upright. So that was good. Got Jason saying Gabriella wins. Yeah, I think she should win. I mean, if she loses, she should be ashamed of herself if she gets subbed by Stolarenko. Just be ashamed of herself. We got Sean saying playing a lot of lines today for DFS too. Any DFS stack favorites seems like a decent chance to have a loss in the optimal. I was saying the same thing. I think there is a chance we could have a loss in the optimal lineup this week because I think a lot of these favorites do come through. I think it's either going to be a loss in the optimal lineup or just somebody that nobody expects to win, like a Kazama, like a Cerqueira, like a big upset, right? But yeah, I could see a loss in the optimal. Any stack, I don't know. Any fights I'd stack? I didn't stack any fights today. Maybe Cachoeira Edwards, maybe? Nah. I don't know. Cachoeira Edwards would be the one that maybe comes to mind. Other than that, I don't really see many stacks that I love, to be honest. I think a lot of these favorites get finishes too. So, yeah, I could see a loss in the optimal lineup. We got Fluffy Hernandez, who's fighting tonight, saying nervous. Yeah, I mean, Dolidze, he's no slouch, man. He's going to be dangerous, but got to go out there and weather that early storm. You got to fight off some leg locks, some heel hooks, and you just got to do your thing, man. So shout out to Fluffy Hernandez hanging in here before his fight tonight. Huge fight for Fluffy here. If he wins this fight, he's one step closer to a potential title shot in the future. Drink up the Stoli and enjoy her win. Yep, best of luck, Fluffy. Heck yeah. Is Pizza Puffs just a fancy name for Pizza Pockets? I don't know. I've never heard of Pizza Puffs. Is that a American thing? I don't know. Need low-cost DFS picks to even out my picks. Stolarenko or Urbina is my option. So what I did for DFS this week is I had to play fighters I think are going to lose, but if they win, they're going to score very well. Like, for example, Stolarenko, if she's going to win this fight, it's a first-round armbar, and she's on the optimal lineup. Gilbert Urbina, if he's going to win this fight, it's a first-round submission, and he's on the optimal lineup. Odi Osborne, if he's going to win the fight, it's going to be a first-round knockout, and he's on the optimal lineup, right? So I played guys that I think lose, but if they win, they're going to score very handsomely, and maybe one of these favorites do drop the ball, right? So between Stolarenko and Urbina, I don't mind either for a pump play down low. I guess I would lean. I don't know. I think they both lose. I would lean Stolarenko, I guess, but Urbina's a decent option as well, even though I think he gets brutally knocked out. Brady, is it true that cards at the Apex have more finishes? I don't know the numbers on it, but I believe that's true. Smaller cage, fighters are kind of forced to engage more. Not a lot of room to maneuver in there. What I've noticed is that there is more finishes than the Apex. That's why I like the Apex personally. I think we get more violence more often than not. Yeah, that could be a decent stack. Main event stack. Yeah, I don't hate that. I just think it's gonna be tough for Dolidze to score points off his back. You know what I mean? But yeah, if it does go late, it does go 5 rounds. I could see that being viable. Dolidze as a marauder and his size could be an issue. He's a big dude, big, strong dude. Dolidze's fought at heavyweight before. He's a heavyweight fight. Can I get a steakhouse bet this week? Who is going the distance? Okay, so steakhouse bet means who's going to do something sketchy? Who's going to bet a certain prop that makes no sense? Who's going to bet against their opponent? And I think there's a couple options. We could see something in the Brundage fight. Because Brundage is training at no, he's not. He's at Factory X, right? Okay, so he's safe. But there is always something sketchy in a Brundage fight. Andre Fili, it looked like he bet Mel Costa's sub prop last time out. We could see Andre Fili maybe tap once more. What else? I don't think Walker would throw a fight. Same thing with Smith. Same thing with Edwards. Yeah, I think it'd be Andre Fili potentially betting the Rodriguez sub prop. Would be the steakhouse bet of the week. It's a Chicago thing. Okay. You have to try one when you're in town. Pizza puffs. Okay. Never heard of it. Handsomely like Amanda Lemos or handsomely like Hamby? We'll go Lemos. We'll go Lemos. Verna is handsome. Verna is handsome. If Juicebox doesn't finish in rounds 1 or rounds 2, he's going to be watching the clip of Wheezy Stat Digger's warning. He gave it out on the show. I don't see how he doesn't finish Cerqueira. If he doesn't finish Cerqueira in rounds 1 or rounds 2, something went horribly wrong. Yep, and he can definitely get reversals too early on. So yeah, that makes sense. I can see it. Like if Brundage does not knock out McConico in the first round, it probably is a split, to be honest. Brundage versus McConico is a prime steakhouse boring decision. I hope it's not, because the last Brundage fight against Mansour Abdul-Malik, that was a steakhouse bet. But hopefully Brundage fights this time. Yeah, CLD is a prime candidate as well. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Uros Medic going against Gilbert Urbina. And we have Medic minus 280, Urbina plus 240. Money's pouring in on Gilbert Urbina. Urbina was as high as plus 350. This line's moved over $1. He's now plus 240. Medic was as low as minus 450. He's currently a minus 280 favorite. So money has poured in on Gilbert Urbina over the last 24 hours. And I saw Dave Mason from Bet Online make a tweet that said that their biggest liability is Gilbert Urbina. So which means they need Uros Medic to win the fight. Last week, I think it was their biggest liability was Hung Sung Park, and they needed Tyra to win the fight. So the books need Uros Medic to win the fight, and I think they probably get that. I mean, Urbina, he needs to get the fight down to the ground and get into early submission, round 1, round 2 submission. If not, if this fight plays out on the feet for any extended period of time, there's a good chance it gets knocked out. Urbina has no chin, no strike and defense, and Medic hits very, very hard. Medic is a very good striker. But yeah, I mean, I guess Urbina does have a path here with the grappling, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I don't really trust him to be able to do that. So I think Medic knocks him out. I think Medic KO1, KO2 makes a lot of sense. If you like the Urbina side, Urbina sub 1, sub 2, I like violence here. I think the under is solid. I think the fight won't start round 3 is a solid parlay piece. I don't think this fight's going 10 minutes. Medic has only been to the 3rd round once in his career, and he was able to get a 3rd round finish, but I think this fight ends within the first 10 minutes here. I'm going to go Medic, but I was thinking to myself, like, if one of these big favorites do drop the ball, it probably is Medic, you know? It probably is Medic. Because I think a lot of these favorites do win. A lot of these big favorites do win, but if one was to drop the ball, it probably would be a guy like Medic or Brundage, right? But I got to go Medic by knockout on this one. What if Cerqueira is actually John Jones, but is just getting his line to be outrageous for a moment? Like I don't think he's John Jones, man. I don't think he's John Jones. Who is this? Eliza Zaleski's WTF performance, which means who's going to be looking very good, winning the fight until they gas out and quit. Maybe C-Rod could have a Zaleski moment. I doubt it though. I don't think we'll see a Zaleski moment, man. Yeah, I don't think we see any Zaleski moments. Yeah, C-Rod, if anything. My pick is Medic, but hard pass on betting him. Poor Cerqueira. Yeah, poor Cerqueira. Someone please talk me out of betting my mortgage on Murphy plus 124 over Pico next week. Yeah, I actually taped that fight today because I was kind of feeling the same way. Like, I just auto fade Aaron Pico, but I was really impressed with Pico. I was impressed with the pressure, the way he comes forward nonstop. He throws with 110% power in all of his shots, and he wrestles a lot. He can mix in takedowns, and we've seen Murphy get taken down a lot. Emmett took him down 4 or 5 times. He's been taken down against, was it Tabaris Ahuga back in the day? He's a 50% takedown defense, so I think Pico is pretty dang good. But you know, these guys that have been making their debuts lately haven't been performing that well in other organizations. So yeah, it's probably a fight I'm staying away from. But I was impressed with what I saw from Pico. Urbina hasn't fought in 18 months. Yeah, he never fights. Urbina never fights, ever. I think he has like 3 fights since 2020. Never fights. I think Medic pulls it off right there with you. Brady, I'm afraid Julius is going to get liaoed. He's not going to get liaoed by Cerqueira, though, right? I mean, Cerqueira, I don't even think he's a striker. I think he's a grappler, but he doesn't grapple. That'd be weird. I mean, if Cerqueira knocks him out when Menefield couldn't, that'd be wild. Pico's shoulder pops out again. The fight is over by TKO. We've seen it before. Just saying. Yep, that was his last loss there. Bet Murphy. I'm not going to do it, but I don't hate anybody taking a shot on him. But yeah, Pico looked good to me. Good power, good wrestling. I think it's going to be a close fight. All right. But yeah, but the level of competition that Pico's fought hasn't been the best either. Like, he's looking great, but this is going to be a big step up. You know, Murphy's been fighting the who's who. So yeah, I think it is a dog or pass. But I thought I was going to bet it, but probably not. All right. Let's see here. Had a cough. We got like lightning. How we doing, Brady? Don't get to hop in the live streams a lot, but appreciate all your insight on the fights every week. It's much appreciated, man. It helps me a lot. Let's have a day. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the kind words. Let's have a day indeed. Hopefully no shenanigans today. We got Paragon MMA. What's good with you? Yes, sir, Dixon. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. And we have Priscilla Cachoeira going against Jocelyn Edwards. And yeah, a lot of money came in on Jocelyn. I remember she was like minus 250 like last week. Minus 380 now. So yeah, Cachoeira, as always, like, she's going to be the underdog more often than not. But yeah, she's a big dog here against Jocelyn Edwards. I like Edwards quite a bit as a fighter. Like, I think she's improving quite a bit. She's only 29 years old. She looks career best. She's showing some urgency in there. She looks like a completely different fighter. She's been training with Valentina, making improvements in the striking and the grappling. She's flashing some power. She's flashing a submission game as well. And this fight's pretty simple. It's one of those fight IQ tests where it's like, if Edwards goes out there and stands and bangs with Cachoeira, do I think Edwards is the better striker? Yeah. But Cachoeira hits very hard, right? She hits very, very hard for the division. So yeah, I think Edwards needs to get the fight down to the ground to pay off this price tag. And if she does, I think she does pay off this price tag. Because Cachoeira, she can't grapple. We've seen it time and time again. If you strike with her, she can knock you out. If you grapple her, she's going to lay on her back and get submitted. She can't stuff a takedown, and she has no ground game. And I don't think at all of a sudden, 37 years old now, she's all of a sudden going to have a ground game. So I think Edwards by submission is very much on the table. Let's see where that submission prop is currently at, because it has taken some steam. Plus 325, plus 350, plus 360 for that submission prop. I think that's live. I think she's going to absolutely get takedowns. I think she's absolutely going to go for him. Definitely a fight IQ test for Jocelyn Edwards. And if Jocelyn Edwards gets that big ass on top of Cachoeira, I don't think Cachoeira is getting up. If she gets on top of Cachoeira, that's probably the round. I don't know if you guys have ever been on your back and had a big ass laying on you, but it's tough to get up. It's tough to maneuver big ass on you. And that's exactly what Jocelyn Edwards brings to the table. So yeah, I like Edwards here. Minus 400. Like, it's definitely wild. It's definitely wide. But I don't mind a shot on that sub prop there. Yeah, I'm vibing with it as well. I think she's going to attempt subs for sure. And you can't knock out Cachoeira. It just doesn't happen. You got to sub her. And I'm sure she knows that. Brady, I did an obligatory donation on the Cachoeira point deduction in honor of Lou Betya's clam bags. Yeah, that's a great bet, Dixon. Those point deductions. I don't think I have them anymore. I haven't seen a point deduction in a very long time. I think they might have took it off my books at least. But yeah, clam bags plus 2,000. She's one of the biggest cheaters in the UFC. I don't mind it. Lizzie by sub plus 900 quarter unit. I don't mind it, especially round 1, round 2. Jocelyn sub decision. Yeah, I wonder what the price is on that. Probably not much better, but probably a good way to get that money line down. Possibility of Erceg getting chin checked. I mean, it's a possibility. Is it a high possibility? Maybe. I don't think so. But yeah, Ode KO1, I think that's his path. You don't gotta bet him, man. You don't gotta bet Brundage. I put a half unit on him, and I feel disgusting. A half unit on the KO1 prop. Brady, yeah, it's great fantasy. It's a great fantasy to have. Big asses are tough on top. Yeah, it's tough to get a big ass off you. Been there, done that. Edwards by sub decision parlay with Matsumoto money line is free money. I don't mind that parlay at all. I think it's a great look. Every night, hell yeah, there you go. Brundage sub 1, Stolarenko sub 1, Edwards round 1, fat ass pressed in my face. What? Okay. All right. Okay. Heck yeah, Forrest. Erceg said he's going to go back to submitting people. That'd be wise. That'd be wise. Most likely beneficiator of a fraudulent decision this week. Benefactor. Is that even a word? If that's a word. Who's going to throw the fight and win by decision, you ask? Christian Leroy Duncan. Yeah, Christian Leroy Duncan or Cody Brundage. Is my over 2.5 C-Rod fight cooked? As long as Fili doesn't tap out, then no. But if Fili taps again, it might be cooked because C-Rod is going to attempt subs, and Fili getting subbed in his last fight the way he did was not the best look. But yeah, over 2.5 should be fine. But I think that C-Rod sub is live. I also put a half unit on Brundage inside the distance, like minus 120. Yeah, I think that's probably better than the money line. How can I profit off of a no contest in the Brundage fight? I don't think you can. I doubt they offer no contest props. If they did, it'd be a massive number. You can bet a draw. You can bet a point deduction. Maybe one of those. Edwards sub and CLD KO seems free. I think they're both very much on the table. Free? I don't know about free just because Duncan just plays with his food and has no urgency. But if he wants it, he gets it. It's a word. Okay. Oh, wow. You learn something new every day. So, wow. Edwards, Erceg, Hernandez, parlay, boats and hose. I think that parlay probably hits. Benefactor. Okay. It's a noun. A person who gives money or other help to a person or cause. Okay. Okay. Benefactor. Wow. You learn something new every day. Don't understand people who pick McConico. He didn't look good in any of his fights. Yeah, he really doesn't. I mean, he's getting dropped in a lot of them and quite frankly, losing a lot of the fights until his opponents gas out. But I think it's more of a fade on Cody Brundage of what people are thinking, which I get it. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. We got Elijah Smith going against Toshiyama Kazama. Going to keep this short and sweet, just like I think this fight's going to be short and sweet. I mean, it's a layup for Elijah Smith. I mean, this is going to be the easiest fight he's going to probably ever get, ever again, against Kazama. I think it's a rough matchup for Kazama, hence the line. Kazama's a guy that's looking to wrestle and grapple, but Smith can wrestle and grapple. And then on the feet, it's just night and day. I think, anything other than a Smith round 1, round 2 knockout would be just disappointing for him. I mean, he should go out there and finish Kazama, who has no chin, no striking defense, no striking, no nothing besides some grappling. That'll work on lower level fighters, but I don't think Smith's a lower level fighter. So yeah, Smith, I played him round 1, round 2, pretty big here. My biggest bet of the night. And I think he finishes Kazama in round 1. If it's not in round 1, then it's probably in round 2. So yeah, give me Smith here. There's no excuse why he should screw this one up. Kazama sub, I kind of think that's his path, but I don't know if Vince Morales isn't subbing you. And Vince Morales got Smith in some deep chokes, and Smith did all the right things, and his submission defense looked really good. Imagine trusting Cody Brundage. Who's the next Kevin Holland? Yeah, you can't trust Cody Brundage. You can't trust him. But I mean, he should beat this guy, in my opinion. Feel like Brundage is definitely the better fighter, but the fact they are up a weight class and on short notice just further increases that already high risk of Brundage. And the reason I'm not going crazy on Brundage, which I never really would, but his last short notice fight was that SD Dumas fight, I believe, and he just didn't show up. That's the fight where he, I think, landed like 5 strikes in 3 rounds. So I'm hoping we don't get that Brundage. I'm hoping we get the Brundage that fought Julian Marquez. Make it a war. If he does that, I think he could knock him out in the first round. All right, AJ, come on, man. Come on. McConico looked horrible in his UFC fight. Yeah, he didn't do anything. And then he got knocked out. It was a really bad look. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. We got Julius Walker going against Rafael Cerqueira. Just like the last fight. And we have Walker as minus 750 favorite. Just like the last fight. There's no excuse. There's no excuse to be losing this fight first and foremost, but not being able to go out there and finish Rafael Cerqueira. I mean, if Modestas Bukauskas is knocking you out in the first round, I mean, you know, Walker should do that and do it quicker. And why I think Walker's going to do it quicker is because Walker does something that Modestas does not do. Walker's going to rush forward. Walker's going to pressure. And I have a funny feeling that Cerqueira hates pressure. I have a funny feeling that Cerqueira hates getting hit. And I think Walker's going to pressure him from the jump. And I think he's going to hit him in the face very hard. And I think once Walker touches the chin just once, we've seen it. If somebody touches the chin of Cerqueira just one time, he's going to shell up and he's going to quit. So, yeah, Walker KO1 seems very obvious. I think the game plan's pretty simple here for Walker. March forward and just swing. Just swing. Go chin for chin with this guy who has no chin. You do have a chin, Walker. You know, go chin for chin. Stand and bang. No need to take him down, right? Like, Cerqueira's getting taken down by Jonathan Almeida on the daily. Cerqueira's a supposed black belt. No need to mess around on the ground, right? Just knock him out. Take his head off. I don't think Cerqueira is a real fighter. I truly don't. So, yeah, Walker KO1. Under 1.5 seems like a great parlay piece. I didn't have any parlays this week, but if I were to, it'd be this under 1.5. It's minus 215. I don't mind that. The under 1.5 as a parlay piece. But yeah, there's no excuse for Walker not making this look pretty easy here. Should be probably the quickest fight of the night. I mean, just rush forward and hit him once, and that's that. He'll quit. So, yeah, we'll see. Ruzabov is not Brundage, guys. You mean Brundage is not Ruzabov? Yeah, he's not. Cerqueira should have already been cut. Yeah, and typically you would see that. When fighters come in and they have performances that bad, it's like they're a liability. Like you can't get this guy killed, right? But they're giving him one more shot, and they're feeding him to Julius Walker, who went toe-to-toe with Alonzo Menifield, who's an actual fighter. Brady, what are your thoughts on G. Matsumoto parlayed with Smith 1-2 plus 113? I mean, Anthony, you're not allowed to bet on the fights, man. Maybe you're not allowed to bet on these fights, dude. I don't want to get you in trouble, but I do like that parlay quite a bit. I think Matsumoto wins, and I think Smith should finish round 1 too. Walker should sprint through this fight. I agree. I think you're going to be very profitable this week. I hope so. As long as these favorites do their job, as long as we get some violence, it should be a pretty good night. If Cerqueira wins, all the parlays are busted. Every single one. It would be a shock to me. It would be a really big shock if Cerqueira won this fight. A moment of silence for the piping. Rafael Cerqueira is going to take Shadow Realms. Yeah, I think if there's a piping on this card, there's a couple, but this is the one. This is the one. Brady, let's say Julius and Elijah get optimal finishes. Who would you say scores higher in DFS of the two? Or should I be asking who quits faster, Cerqueira or Kazama's chin? So that's a good question. So Cerqueira is going to quit, right? He's a quitter. At least with Kazama's not going to quit, but his chin is going to quit. So we could see Elijah Smith drop Kazama a couple times, get a couple knockdowns, whereas with Julius Walker, he lands a couple shots. Cerqueira is going to shell up, and then the ref, as long as it's not Herzog, the ref's going to stop the fight shortly after. So I think I would lean, I guess, towards Elijah Smith just due to the knockdown upside, but I think Walker could actually finish in 60 seconds if he wants to. If he really wants to, Walker could finish in 60 seconds. Just hit him once. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. Does Anders have any chance to take this fight down to the ground? I think he's going to try. Walker quick finish bonus. I think it's live. Yeah, shout out to him. Getting some last second insight for the fights. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We got Christian Leroy Duncan going against Eric Anders. And yeah, I know people like to hate on Duncan, but I think he's a very talented fighter. The problem I have with Duncan, though, is it's just the lack of urgency, the lack of just looks like he doesn't want to be there at times. Just looks like he's sparring in there. But when he actually tries, this guy's very good. I like the knees, the elbows. He's a dangerous fighter. He's a big dude. But when he lets his hands go, I mean, he's good. It's just sometimes it looks like he's just in there just messing around. It's annoying sometimes. But he's going against Eric Anders, and I think Anders is probably on his way out. This is a guy, and Anders has taken a lot of damage throughout his career. I think that damage is starting to add up. He's talking about retirement in the very near future. Not this fight, but potentially next fight. You don't like to hear the word retirement come out of these fighters' mouths, and once it starts coming out, the results just aren't there. And yes, he's won his last couple fights. He beat Jamie Pickett. He beat Chris Weidman. But he's getting dropped in all of these fights. He's been dropped in his last 3 fights, all in the first round. Got dropped by Jamie Pickett, Chris Weidman, and Marc-Andre Barriault. And, Christian Leroy Duncan, I think, could knock him down. I mean, if you're getting knocked down by Jamie Pickett, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it would almost be embarrassing if Duncan's not able to at least knock down Anders. So I think he at least knocks him down. And if he actually tries and puts forth some effort, I think he could potentially finish Eric Anders, who I don't think has much of a chin at this point. And quite frankly, it just hasn't looked great. I didn't like how he looked in the Pickett fight. I don't like how he looked in the Weidman fight up until Weidman completely death-gassed. I mean, this should be a layup for Duncan. So hopefully Duncan comes in here with some urgency. If he does that, I think the knockout prop is live, the inside the distance, all that good stuff. But it could also be a smash your TV bet of the week where Duncan just messes around in there and wins like a 29-28. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to this test for Christian Leroy Duncan. He's getting a layup. We'll see if he can make that layup. Anders is the best and only pump play on the slate. I did play some Anders as well because even in a loss, like if this goes 15 and he loses, we could see some control time. We could see some maybe takedowns. So I don't mind some Anders on DK. And as far as Christian Leroy Duncan, I just think there's much better options up top. See, I don't mind Anders on DK. Win thumbnail, appreciate M2C. Are we max betting Brundage? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. 100 Gambler. Don't be silly. We all know these fighters are gambling, especially on their opponents. Some of them are, yeah. Some of them are for sure. Brady, did you bet any takedown props on Anders or CLD? Great numbers. I did not. I have not looked at those. But, yeah, I think Anders will try to wrestle. Duncan by TKO, I think it's super live, but it's up to him. It's up to him. Yeah, maybe he's jet lagged every fight. Maybe that's the problem with Duncan. Just bad jet lag every single fight. Maybe that's his issue. I don't know. But hopefully he gets his head out of his ass and puts forth some effort this fight. All right, next up we got G Matsumoto going against Miles Johns. Yeah, I like Matsumoto here. And like I said, I don't have any parlays on this card, but if I was to parlay something, it might be like the Matsumoto money line. I think it's a solid parlay piece, especially now that it's came down minus 300. It was whatever, but yeah, minus 230 on some books. I don't mind that. It's hard for me to ever pick Miles Johns to win a fight. And he's won a lot of fights, don't get me wrong, but he's so low volume. He has a wrestling background, but refuses to use it. He doesn't have great cardio. It kind of just feels like a stylistic matchup nightmare for Miles Johns. Like, he's not going to out-wrestle Matsumoto for 15 minutes. He's probably not even going to try. He's not going to throw more volume than Matsumoto. I don't think he's knocking out Matsumoto. So, yeah, I kind of think it's Matsumoto winning this fight, potentially breaking Johns down the stretch, but if not, probably winning a decision just by doing more. So, yeah, I think Matsumoto is solid look this week. I think the 2-3 props are solid looks this week. Johns has been finished twice, round 1, round 2, and round 3. He got knocked out in round 2, and then he got submitted in round 3. So we can maybe see like a late Matsumoto finish. I think is very much in plan. I know a lot of people are on those. Let's see where those numbers have moved. And they make sense. And just with the style Matsumoto fights at, we could see a late finish. Matsumoto round 3 plus 1,600 on DraftKings. That's a good look. I got it at plus 1,400. So plus 1,600 is crazy. That's super live. And then Matsumoto round 2, like plus 950. Yeah, I think those late props are on the table against Johns, who tires out. Which fight gets the most move fighters tonight? I hope they're not letting Jason Herzog back in there. Last week, Herzog wasn't in there, but I have a feeling that Herzog will be in there tonight. Probably the Cerqueira fight, because Walker is going to hit Cerqueira once. Cerqueira is going to shell up, and then Walker is going to proceed to let off a 50-punch combination, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of move fighters mixed in there. So I'd say the Walker fight, probably a lot of move fighters. Maybe even the Edwards Cachoeira fight. We could see Edwards get on top and just land a ton of ground and pound and a couple move fighters in there. But I'm hoping Herzog's not. I'm hoping they let him take off another week or two. Let him take off 2 more weeks. Just give me 2 more weeks. Matsumoto and Johns are fraud. I don't think Matsumoto's a fraud, man. I mean, this guy's good. He did lose to Rob Font, but Rob Font's a tough guy to beat. You think Oda goes the distance? I don't. I personally don't think he goes the distance. Yeah, Kerry Hatley. I went back and watched the Bobby Green Jalen Turner fight today. I mean, this guy Kerry Hatley ruined Bobby Green's career. Now Bobby Green don't have a chin no more. I mean, poor Bobby Green. That was probably a worse stoppage just about than that the Yaya fight. I mean, Bobby Green was out 3 different times. So yeah, Kerry Hatley still has not been arrested, which is kind of crazy. All right. Ode died by the sword fighter. Yeah, he's kill or be killed, especially on short notice. He's kill or be killed fighter. All right. We'll touch on the Rodriguez Fili fight real quickly. We got about 15 minutes or so. Yeah. So Rodriguez, he's at the wrong weight class, and we saw it at the weigh-ins. This guy's fighting at the wrong weight class. He needs to figure out a way to get down to bantamweight and make weight. Because yes, he's a skilled fighter, and I like a lot of what he brings to the table, but it's like he's going to be undersized in a lot of these matchups. And I think size played a big factor in the Mel Costa fight. And maybe the size plays a big factor here against Andre Fili, who's going to be bigger. So I like the Rodriguez sub prop and fight ends by a sub, just because you look throughout Rodriguez's career, he's attempting a ton of submissions. I think he's attempted 9, which is unheard of. And just going back and watching that Fili submission loss in his last fight, it looked very bad. You know, he got put in a guillotine, he got out of the guillotine, and then it looked like he put himself back into the guillotine willingly and then tapped shortly after. It's very, very odd to see that. And Christian Rodriguez, what is he pretty good at? The guillotines, the front chokes, and he's going to attempt them. He's going to attempt them here. And if it turns out, you know, Fili is just going to insta-tap. Like, we could see a Rodriguez submission. So I think Rodriguez sub and sub are 2 long shot props that I like this week. Other than that, I don't have a ton of interest. I think if this fight does go the distance, which it's favored to pretty heavily, I think it's going to probably be competitive just with the size of Fili. And Fili has some solid striking. Fili has some solid grappling in his own right offensively. But yeah, I wish Rodriguez would get back down to bantamweight. Is anyone watching this card naked? I will not be watching it naked. No. Absolutely not. We got Eileen Perez's butthole in the building. Good to see you in here. Angela Hill says she wants a title shot. Did she really? Be careful. If Herzog is on Walker Cerqueira fight, over 1.5 is now plus 150. Money flooding in. Still can get plus 200 on BetMGM. I don't know if he's reffing the fight or not, but we're going to have to take a look, man. I wish we knew who was reffing which fight. Who was reffing which fight, you know? Make it a lot easier. Brady, what's good? Dolidze by whatever he wants. I see the Georgians making a run similar to the Dagestanis. We'll see, man. I think Dolidze's very live early. Very live early. Wonder if Angela Hill sells those implants. I don't wonder that myself, but yeah, Fili by points could be a solid look. If you're on the Fili side, he's definitely not finishing Rodriguez. Fili by decision is plus 350. That's not bad if you like the Fili side. It's not bad at all, and that's probably his path. I'm late. Do you have anything on the Gabby? Yeah, I like Gabby Hernandez inside, or Gabby Fernandez inside the distance. And then also, if like a sprinkle on Stolarenko sub 1, I think makes a lot of sense. It's plus 1,000, but I'm on the Fernandez inside the distance. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We got Yasmin Lucindo going against Angela Hill. We'll just keep this short and sweet. I'm passing here. A lot of money's came in on Hill, so I actually picked Hill just because I think it's going to be a very close fight, like most Angela Hill fights are. But I couldn't quite pull the trigger just because I thought she looked washed in her last fight. But yeah, I mean, if Hill can stuff some takedowns here, which he's been working on that grappling, keep it on the feet, like Hill can land a lot of volume. Lucindo's not that high volume. Lucindo has some pop in her hands, but yeah, I think Hill can make this close, and money's coming in on her, and quite a bit of money, actually. Hill was as high as plus 180 midweek, early in the week, and now she's plus 142, so some money coming in on Angela Hill. And I think it could be one of those where it's like it's a great bet, split decision, but they might give it to the younger Lucindo. And I also don't like the optics of Angela Hill lately. She's looking tired in there. You know, she's not reacting to shots as well in there. And these crooked corrupt judges, they love optics. They love optics, and it's something they take into account. I've noticed throughout the years. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Hill to win, but not too confident in her, to be honest. Angela Magny, yeah, we could see. I mean, these unks, man, these unks have been getting it done. These older fighters, Angela Hill's 40. They've been getting it done, man. Which is more free money, Medic or Smith by K? Which is closer to free money? I would have to say Smith. Lucindo is this week's Zaleski dos Santos. Okay, you heard it here first. Walker, Medic, KO locks. I don't know about Medic. I think Medic does KO him, but that's kind of the one. That's kind of the one fight I'm worried about. But Walker should absolutely knock out Cerqueira. If not, it's just inexcusable. All right, let's move on to the co-main event. We got Steve Erceg going against Ode Osborne. And yeah, this is kind of like the Stolarenko Fernandez fight for me, where it's like, I think Steve Erceg has a lot of ways to win this fight. And that's why he's a big favorite. He's a really big favorite here. He's taking a massive step down in competition. I think on the feet, he could absolutely knock out Ode Osborne. Like, Osborne's hittable. I think Osborne, like, people are talking about Erceg's chin. Osborne's chin's 20 times worse than Erceg's chin, that's for sure. So yeah, I think Erceg can knock him out. But I think the easiest path, and the path that he's been kind of hinting towards all week, is grappling Ode Osborne, who just can't grapple, who just has questionable cardio, especially coming here on short notice. So yeah, the path I imagine for Erceg is going to be to grapple. And if he does that, Erceg has very slick submissions and probably does tap out Ode Osborne at some point in this fight. But I also think Erceg can knock him out. So I think Erceg inside the distance is the best way to play him. I think the under 2.5 is a really solid look, even though it's gotten crushed throughout the week. Ode Osborne's a killer-be-killed fighter who rarely goes the distance. If you like Ode Osborne KO1 is his path, in my opinion. Kind of like Stolarenko sub 1, but Ode KO1 is kind of his path. And Ode KO1 is plus 2,000. Jeez. That's actually great. Plus 2,000 for his path to victory. That's wild. So yeah, if you like Ode, you gotta love those early KO props. But yeah, Erceg should win this fight. I mean, he's on a 3-fight skid. This is a must-win. So yeah, hopefully Erceg gets back on track. But if you like Ode, KO1 plus 2,000 is ridiculous, in my opinion. I didn't even see that until today. I guess I didn't expect it to be 20-1. I kind of expected it to be like 10-1. But yeah, I think Erceg should get it done. Erceg by sub. I would bet the inside the distance because the sub prop, it's not a great number, is it? You can get Erceg inside the distance at minus 135. The sub prop is, you can get plus 185. But like I said, he could also knock this dude out. but I am personally picking a sub. Smith, round 1, round 2. Minus 160. Brady question, who is the better professional referee, Steve Mazzagatti or Jason Herzog? Man, Herzog used to be the best, man. Herzog was the consensus best referee these last couple of years. But this last year or a year and a half, it's just been bad. I'm hoping he gets back on track. But I don't know if he's going to get back on track anytime soon. Erceg did admit that he fought scared last time after the KO loss. That's not good. But maybe being scared, he can take that into his advantage in this fight. And yeah, be scared of Ode. Take him down. Do that. Erceg gets cut. I honestly don't think they're going to cut him. It would be a 4-fight skid, but I don't think they're cutting Erceg. I don't think so. I don't think that'd be smart. I mean, he's really good. He's just lost to really good guys. Would you spend a night with Edwards or Cachoeira? Definitely Edwards. I don't think you'd last the night with Cachoeira. Zombies are dangerous, man. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with you hanging out with a zombie over the night. That's a great line for those two. Yeah, that does seem like good value. All right, let's touch on the main event. Before we do so, if you guys could do me a favor, get those likes up. Would much appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel. We are about 1,000 away from 30,000 subs, hoping to hit that by 2026. If you guys do enjoy the content, you guys do it, watch the content, please consider hitting the subscribe button. And yeah, she would certainly rip it off. So yeah, Edwards for me for sure. She does look like, but I'd rather, yeah, gosh, you're right. But I don't want my cock ripped off. Then I'd have to hit up Dr. Peener. I don't know where Dr. Peener is at, by the way. But yeah, I don't want my cock ripped off. All right. Anthony Hernandez going against Roman Dolidze. So yeah, I can't wait for this main event. I actually cannot wait for this main event. And how I'm seeing it is Dolidze is going to have a window here to win the fight. Whether it's a big shot to the body, a big shot in the clinch, potential submission. Dolidze is going to have opportunities in this first 7.5 to 10 minutes. And I think Dolidze in round 1 or round 2 is on the table and live. But there's a big but. If this fight reaches the 3rd round, I think Dolidze is just screwed. I think most guys, I think 90% of the guys in the middleweight division, if you're fighting Fluffy and the fight gets to the 3rd round, you're screwed. You're done. And it's not like Dolidze has phenomenal cardio. He doesn't. So, yeah, Dolidze early, Hernandez late or by decision. I think that's a great way to look at it. A Hernandez live bet, potentially. Dolidze early props, Hernandez late props. I think there's a lot of different ways to attack this fight. Hernandez 4-5 decision, another spot that, definitely makes some sense. But, yeah, I'm going to be taking a close look at this fight from a live bet perspective because I think Dolidze is going to have some success. Like, Hernandez makes mistakes. Hernandez gets hurt in a lot of fights early. Hernandez makes a lot of mistakes in the grappling early. And a guy like Dolidze can take advantage of that, but he needs to take advantage of that within the first 2 rounds or he is in big trouble. So, yeah, Dolidze early props, Hernandez late props is how I attacked it. I think Hernandez late TKO props make a ton of sense. And the Dolidze early props are big numbers as well. So I'm hoping somebody gets served here. But I don't know. It's a weird fight. Such a great fight. I've always said I think Fluffy's actually a future champion. Not in the near future, I don't think, but in the future, I think. Right. I don't think he'd beat Hamzat. I mean, I think Hamzat might finish him early, but yeah, whenever Hamzat retires, then Fluffy, I think, could potentially become champion down the road. So yeah, Fluffy late props. That's kind of where I'm leaning here, but I think somebody gets served. Is the main event stackable in cash, or what's the better option? You're running out of time, man. These fights are kicking off in 30 seconds. I think it is stackable in cash, but I didn't stack it personally. Brundage looks so bad in his last fight, didn't throw a strike until round 3. That's true. Brady, my bold call. We know Fluffy is not one to tap, so Roman will literally break his arm, knee, or ankle, and the ref will step in and rule a TKO. like it happened versus Paul Craig and Jamal Hill, remember? That is a bold call. But yeah, Dolidze is going to get fluffy in some bad spots early on. I can almost guarantee that. Hernandez is overrated. I don't know if he's overrated, but I do think Dolidze's live early. The main event is difficult to predict. My gut says Dolidze. Dolidze needs to be the bully early on. Too undersized and unathletic. Hernandez. Yeah, but that pace is crazy, though, you know? All right. These fights are about to kick off here, so I'm going to head out. Before we do so, I'm going to just do a quick rundown and just quick thoughts on all the fights here. So, yeah, I mean, Brundage KO1 would be my look in the first fight, but it's borderline 1-800 gambler. You can't lay -2 something on Brundage, and there is a real chance he screws this up. I'm getting weird vibes on this first fight of the night. I think Brundage could mess this up, guys. So I'd be careful playing too much on Brundage. I think he should win. I don't think McConico is that great, but it's also could he Brundage. Fernandez inside the distance, near pick'em. I like Stolarenko sub-1. If you're looking for a long shot prop, sub-1, that's her path. Medic Urbina. I think Medic KO1-2 is a great look. If you like Urbina sub-1, sub-2, under 1.5, -130, I like. Fight won't start round 3 as a parlay piece I like. Edwards by sub. Edwards sub decision double chance to get the money line down. I think it's a bad matchup for Priscilla, although I'm a big fan of her. I just think it's a bad matchup. Smith round 1, round 2, around -160. I love my biggest bet of the night. No excuse for not beating this guy in dominant fashion. Same thing with Walker. Walker KO1 should be within the first 60 seconds if he wants it. Push forward and make this guy quit. Duncan, I think knockout is very live. I think the chin of Anders is dust at this point, but it's going to be up to Duncan to push a pace and show some urgency for once in his life. Matsumoto, I like quite a bit. I think is a solid parlay piece tonight. 2-3 props, very much in play. Round 3 is plus 1,600 I saw. That's in play. I think Matsumoto can break this guy or win a decision. Rodriguez sub, I think, is on the table just because I'm not sure about Fili's submission defense, and Rodriguez is going to attempt at least a couple subs. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a close decision one way or another. Angela Hill, I think, is super live, but I also think she's a little bit washed at this point. 40 years old, that's to be expected. I think she's slowing down, but I think she can at least make it competitive. Erceg inside the distance, I think is a good look, -135. And if you like Ode round 1 KO, I saw on the show is plus 2,000. I think that's his path, and that's a ridiculous number. Ode KO1. But I'm on Erceg inside the distance. Could be knockout, could be sub. And then Hernandez early, Dolidze late. Dolidze round 1, round 2 is around plus 1,000, which is crazy. I think that's his path. And then Hernandez 3, 4, 5 props are always in play no matter what. And I think the 3, 4, 5 TKO is sneaky because Dolidze's a very high-level grappler, and I think it could be like a mercy stoppage as long as Jason Herzog's not in the cage. So those are the final thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. We got Brundage, McConico coming up in a couple minutes. Be on lookout for content throughout the week. I'm finishing up my research for Dana White's Contender Series. We got UFC 319 next week, so a lot of content's going to be coming. I'm going to actually be taping the fights for 319 during the card today. So you got a lot of work to do. So guys, best of luck for UFC Vegas 109, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.